All right, good morning everyone. Settle down please. We'll be starting in a few minutes. All right, everyone, let's begin. Good morning, everyone. I think we can do better than that, right? It's the first day, come on. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right. Thanks again for turning up on time. Really appreciate that. I think before we begin any of the activities today, let's do a rough introduction, shall we? All right. So I think I would want to actually send our appreciation from us over at Harley-Davidson APAC, right, over to you guys for attending this event. Knowing how busy you guys already are back at home, many things on your mind, but hopefully this is a welcome retreat for you. Just escape a while, right, for the next 3 days. All right. All right. So I think if I may, I want to maybe once I call you guys out, maybe just wave so that everyone knows where you are. I want to welcome our friends from Indonesia. Where are you?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. We have Nishan from India. Representing the entire continent. Thank you. We have Mr. Bobby from Korea. Malaysia. The loudest one. All right, and then we have Philippines. Singapore.
Yes.
And Saudi Cup, we have the Thai team. Taiwan. And lastly from Vietnam. And of course, want to actually acknowledge our FSMs, right? Field Service Managers. We have our NPLs here as well. We have True at the end of the room. Maybe just a raise of hands. Kusuma, Silk, right? And lastly, also for our team, maybe since I'm already standing up here, want to actually send my appreciation to the team who has been working tirelessly over the last couple of months to bring these contents to you. We have my boss, Janine, sitting at the side. Gillian, thanks for your support. All right, and then of course, before I hand over the microphone, I'm not presenting this time, by the way. Right, so we're handing over to Ian. He's from GP Strategies, going to deliver the content. Yeah, we do have some other stuff. All right, totally forgot. Okay, I think just some admin matters to address first, all right, so that you guys know what you're supposed to do later during the breaks and your lunch. So during the break times, I know you guys, some of you need to have your frequent oxygen supply, right? Fresh air. So mind you, the smoking point is actually out this door, right? You make a left, walk past the toilet, not in the toilet. Go past the toilet, go all the way to the observation deck. There's a very nice area for you to do your to get back your oxygen supply. Okay, so it's in that corner there. That's the only place, right? Then other than that, the toilets I've already mentioned so far. Break time, everything, you know, if you need your coffee, tea, it's right at the back of the room later, right? So look forward to that. Lunch will be downstairs. I think that's all the information I'm going to give you for now. Then I'll hand it over back to Ian. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Hang on, I've just brought up the slide that should be behind you. Never mind. Okay, workshop agenda. Welcome, guys and ladies. It's wonderful to see you here. We're going to be doing some exercises today. We're looking at the a recap of the APAC service initiatives that you've been exposed to. We're then going to take a deep dive and look into the MRS steps, the scheduling steps in the 7-step process and the service follow-up. Then we're going to take a look at some service toolkits. Now, some of you in Malaysia have been exposed to sort of parts of these toolkits already because we've been doing some pilot work. And then the best bit today, we're going to go for dinner later, all right? Hopefully that'll be fun. Then tomorrow, we're going to be doing some more on the service process standards. Now, there's a tool which we're going to introduce to you for that as well. That's a very useful tool. Some of your field sales managers have had a look at that already. Then we're going to take into account the toolkit that we've been developing for you, and we're going to actually do some exercises with you, give you a chance to look at those tools and play with them. We've done a bit of gamification around it, so it should be fun to do. Okay. Then we're very honoured to be asked or allowed to visit the Penang dealer. So thanks to Penang. Who's here from Penang? Hang on. That's tomorrow, and we're looking forward to that very much. And then the drier subject, I'm afraid, is going to be on Wednesday, which is the warranty operations workshop. So the first 2 days are to build up your enthusiasm for day 3. Okay. So, okay, now who's yeah?
So we just have the last minute add in for this. Mark somehow he feels very left out from this event, so he decided to actually come and give an opening right now. Right, so let's welcome Mark into the room. Maybe look.
Your Wi-Fi.
I'd like to personally thank you for committing to joining us here and for your continued efforts in driving the service business forward. Continued focus is critical. We need to develop an exceptional customer journey, ensuring that we're providing an exceptional service to each and every one of them. There's really nothing wrong with that. Struggles do continue to be tough across the region, and so this is where service is really critical in helping support the profitability of every single deal. So on day one, we're going to look at further developing our ideas and process in 3 key areas where we see that there is real opportunity to further improve. These are around maintenance requirements, preparation and scheduling, but also in the service model. And we should think about these processes from a very customer-centric perspective. On day 2, we have a fantastic new tool that we're going to launch and we're going to train you on during the workshop. This is called Dealer Process Improvement Tool, and it's a digitalised tool that will help you go back to the dealership and evaluate where there are opportunities to make improvement throughout the service process. It will also allow you to give continued improvement through the process as well. And you can do this on your own, but also in conjunction with your FSM. And it's really all about adding value to the customer. It's about streamlining your service business. So, apologies if I can't be with you today. I wish that you have a great workshop and you take the learnings away and you really invest some time in utilising the dealer process improvement tool back at base to make continuous improvements throughout the week. I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Enjoy the workshop.
Thank you, Mark. All right, let's move on to the next portion. So may I invite Janine up to give. Wait, let me see. No, it's okay.
Hello, good morning everybody. Good morning. Before I begin, first let me introduce myself. I'm Janine. I'm from HDAP based in Singapore. I'm in charge of service and warranty that includes like service operations, technical service, as well as warranty operations for all of AP. It's the first time for me to meet many of you, but it's not the first time for me to meet many of you too. So can I have a show of hands? How many of you are here for the first time, for the first service managers workshop? Who's here for the first time? Oh, okay. Thank you. Me too for AEM. Who's here for the second time since last year? Okay. Actually, that's a pretty good spread. Who has never raised your hand no matter what I say? Very good, I like this.
Don't do it.
Okay, so once again, welcome to the AEM Service Managers Workshop. We hope that in these 3 days, and this time round we have a very special extension. We have the warranty operations workshop as well. So we hope that you get a lot out of it in these 3 days. You have invested your time, so please do invest the time to pay attention to the contents as well. To help us in today's contents, a lot of people worked hard for it. It's not only the HDAP or HDMC staff. I wanted to say a very, very big thank you, especially to the Malaysia team, the dealers in Malaysia as well as DD Group. They have invested the last few months together with us to create a lot of the tools that we will be launching in the next 2 days. So thank you very much. A big round of applause for them. Okay, so those of you who have attended last year, we have introduced our organization last year. Right? We were originally under Network Development Group, but all of you would have known by now we have some organization change. So the service team, from 1st of July onwards, we are now sitting under the commercial team. Right? The commercial team comprised of the motorcycle salespeople, the parts and accessories, as well as A&L team, and entire service team sits under this as well. Right, so Mark, unfortunately, we have to give Mark away to AEM. Instead of Mark, now our new boss is Nigel Harvey. Some of you might have met him or heard of him. He is in charge of commercial planning. So we all report to Nigel, and the entire service team, including service operations and including warranty and technical service, is under Nigel's team right now. Okay, so can I just True sitting at the back. True is our technical service, technical support representative. Most of you should have heard from him. If you send an e-service to the technical service inbox, that's the man behind the inbox. Right? Yeah. So True is representing our technical service team here. He has loads of experience, more than 15 years in the brand. He came to us from US as well. So he's here to support everybody in your technical support requests. Right. Then we have Gillian. Gillian at the side. Gillian is part of my warranty team. So Gillian will be delivering day 3 of the warranty workshop. It's her first time delivering a workshop to such a big crowd, so be nice to her. And of course, the man who really worked very, 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 very hard to get all these contents and the workshop going, Sam. So Sam represents our service operations team for this round. Without him, we will not be here. So some of you say, why we choose some Ulu, or somebody asked, why we choose the Ulu location here, right? Yeah, it's Sam. Right. But
so for this, I need to address. Do you know why we choose this hotel? You must think about the name of the hotel. It's the light. We don't want you all to live in darkness in service. So we chose the light so you can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
we prepared this speech since last night.
I came up with 50%.
Okay, yeah. And lastly, I also want to acknowledge our consulting team here. They are supporting us to deliver the content. So Ian, you have met, and Lionel, who is working behind the scenes for this, right? Okay, so this slide looks familiar, right? You will see this over and over again, right? And we cannot overemphasize this. You see this in the service operations playbook. You see this in last year's slides. You see this now again. Right? I think we want to emphasize the importance of service. All of us come from service, right? And every day we are into service operations. But why is it so important, right? Service, somebody told me when I first joined the automotive industry more than 20 years ago, right? It's, what is service, what's after sales? We are never in the limelight. That's why Sam tried to bring some light into us. We are never in the spotlight, do we agree?
Yes.
Right. We are never in the spotlight, but we work the hardest. Right? We have to manage customers, we have to manage vehicles, we have to manage operations, we have to manage facilities. A lot of time, our hard work is never shown to people. We know ourselves, sometimes our boss knows, sometimes they don't know. Right? But the most important thing, and I want all of you to really understand, believe in this, and I truly believe in this, is that after sales, service, regardless parts, service, we are all one family. After sales is the backbone of any dealership. Without the backbone, the body cannot move. Okay? So this is how important your role is in after sales in service. Because you meet the customer so many times. Much more than sales. It's not one transaction. It's many years of relationship. So service operations is not just operation, it's not just working on the bikes. It's not just making sure you have a good facility. Service operation drives business. It's true, it's real, and you know it. So believe in it and believe that we recognize the importance of service. That is why we have all these sessions right now. We create all these contents, we create all these tools to support all of you. Right, and as I mentioned, service is so many years of relationship building with our customers. So many times we have to meet them. We take their complaints, we have to make them happy, we engage with them, we work on their bikes, The thing is, in service, we always say after sales, right? But personally, I believe the word after sales not so nice. Because after means next love, right? So, but think of it, why is after sales important? But after sales is not really just after. It's actually a very important step before the sales. It's actually pre-sales. Right? Do we only want to cultivate a customer one time? No, right? We want them to repeat purchase. We want them to come back many times. We want them to be our customers for 20, 30 years. Right? But if we do not deliver a good after-sales or service experience, they will not come back. They'll be like, oh, forget it. This is the first and last time I'm going to buy this bike. First and last time I'm going to be with this brand. But if we play our part, if we support our dealership, we support our customers, it is an important element of pre-sales. It helps us to generate future sales. Right? And what's important in order to do that is we need to support our team. We need to make sure we have standardized operations. We need to let customers have that wow feeling, right? And wow feeling is not just about giving discounts and making them happy every time. Right? Wow feeling is being professional in our work, being able to understand our customers. Right? And so we have, I think a lot of you understand this, and we can all relate to this. Service has been neglected in many years before. Right? It's always about drive wholesale numbers. Right? In current economy, and all of you will know better than me, in current economy, when sales is a huge challenge, how does a dealership survive? We have a huge customer base that we have cultivated in the last, I would say 126 years, right? So we have a huge customer base, we need to leverage on them. That's why we came back and we re-looked at after sales and service and put more emphasis onto it. 2022, we started our journey. Some of you are part of the DSOC program. That helped us shape and define the contents and the way moving forward. Right? So that is really important to us. Last year, we started having our first service workshop. We introduced the 7-step service process. We introduced KPIs. Right? And this year, we started introducing tools to help you within your service workshops. So tomorrow, you will have a hands-on activity and experience to play around with it. The pilot dealers have already helped us with the development of that. And why I say that's very important is because when we develop and design the tool, it is just theory, right? But we put the tools through various dealerships. For the digital tool, we did it in Singapore and Malaysia. For the physical tools and some of the other workshop management digital tools, we did it in Malaysia, right? It is, if we compare the first version and the current version, it's a huge difference. Huge difference, right? We made a lot of changes. Okay, so like Penang has seen the first version. Tomorrow you see the final version is a little bit different. Right? It's because we took in your feedback, we took in the operations and the structure, of how a Harley-Davidson dealership work, and put that into the tool so that it's useful for you. So I'm very excited to launch it tomorrow, but yeah, just wait another 24 hours. Right? Okay, having said that, in the last 1 year since the last service workshop, these are all the tools and materials and playbooks that we have continued to develop and will continue to develop. So what's new this year, besides the service workshops and webinars, we will be launching a 5S playbook soon. Right? It's how to keep your workshop service department organized. So it's not just about cleaning activity, it's how to keep it organized to have an efficient workspace. Right? We will be launching service standards. So some of you have asked, do we have a standard? What do we need to do for these 7 steps? So we have launched, or we have created, and will be launching tomorrow, the service standards based on the 7-step service process. We will be launching the DPI tool. Mark mentioned it just now, and I think most of you would have had your accounts by now. I've activated it last Friday. Right? Those of you who put in the names as the main user and the guest users, you will be able to log in tomorrow. Oh yeah, actually you'll be able to log in now. I've been monitoring, I know who has tried out the tools. So, right, so those of you who have played around, you know how it looks like. Tomorrow we'll go into deeper details on how to use it. That is all to help you. Right, and the service process toolkits that we have developed, and finally warranty workshops. But as I mentioned, I think AEM has helped us a lot in creating all these contents. We also have dealers in other regions who contributed to the development as well. So a huge thank you to everybody for your contributions. Right, we all work as a team, as a family. So we don't believe in just top down because it doesn't work. We believe in integrating and understanding each other's operations to make it work. Right. So today's workshop, what do we want to get out of these, today's workshop? Right. We will be going through the service process workflows. We promised you last year we gave you an overview. This year we will go deep dive. So that's what we will be doing. Ian will help us to deliver that portion. We will launch the DPI tool. We will launch the toolkits tomorrow. So this time's workshop, we will be focusing on 3 main areas that is focused on customer retention. So I think we mentioned this last year. So unfortunately, I couldn't join you guys in person last year, but very happy to join this session today. Right? We introduced customer retention. Right? This concept of customer retention, because it's the most important. If we can retain our customer, we can build a relationship with them, we can keep them for life. Right? So this year's workshop, we will talk about, we will go deep dive into the MRS process, the scheduling and preparation process, and follow-up process. These are key components to drive customer retention. So in each of the area, we will be going through what they are, how to do them, what are the exceptions, how do you manage them, etc., etc., and what are the toolkits that you can go to, that you can refer to and you can utilize to help you in each of these processes. Before I hand it over to Ian, I must firstly thank you. Ian came up with this acronym so that everybody can remember it very, very easily. When we think customer retention, think bike. It's very simple, but it's very, very powerful. Right? First and foremost, number one, important. Right? Even though we are in after sales, even though we are every day in, day out, working on the bikes, looking at operations, remember this is also your business. Yeah, you and I, a lot of us here, some of us here are dealer principals, a lot of us here are employees, but it doesn't mean that, being an employee, we don't care about the business. Right? So if you guys want to take a photo, it's not in your slides because we printed it before we put this in. But you can take a photo of this, no worries. Right? Remember that this is our business. This dealership business is our business. Be proud of your contribution. Right? don't think like buddy mindset. Think of it as a professional level first. This is your business. You contribute to the business. You bring business to the dealership. Right. Secondly, how do you retain customer? You need to impress them. A lot of companies say customer satisfaction, but honestly, customer satisfaction is already basic, expected. Right? We need to customer delight. We need to impress our customers so that they feel a connection with the brand, so that they will always want to come back to the dealership. Right? We are from service. I don't know if some of you agree with me. A lot of customers come back for repair, so we are like hospital, but they don't come back for maintenance. So we need to cultivate them to come back more frequently, because when they only come back for repair, they only have complaints. And we don't want to deal with that day in, day out, right? We want a positive experience. So let's change our mindset, create a positive experience, impress them, let them come back to us regardless it's for big jobs, small jobs, whatever jobs, cosmetic jobs, right? So let's cultivate our customers, retain them, get the business back into our dealership. That's what we are here for. And what can better drive that is your knowledge. All of you here have way more knowledge than I do on our brand, on our product, right? Use that knowledge to impress your customers. Use that knowledge to show professionalism. Use that knowledge to show that we are a cut above the rest. Why do we choose an authorized dealership and not ABC workshop outside? Right? So use that, because we have a lot of knowledge that other people do not have outside. We have tools, we have special tools that we do not give to anybody outside. Right? So that's our leverage, and make use of that. And finally, to retain our customer, we need to engage with them. Right? We need to build the relationship with them. We need to talk to them. We need to understand them. We need to know them and let them know that we know them and we care for them. Right? A lot of times you go to a dealership and you'll be like, okay, after sell the bike, they just want my money, then bye bye, good luck to you. That's not what we want. We want them to feel that, welcome to the family, welcome to the brand. We'll take care of you, for as long as we have this relationship with you, which we want to cultivate for a lifetime. Right? So engage with them. Think bike, BIKE, right? Think retention. And let's all change our mindset right now. Right? And in the next 2 days of workshop, including when we talk about warranty operations, it's all about engaging the customers. It's all about retaining the customers. So let's work towards that. Alright? Okay? Thank you, everybody. I will hand the session over to Ian.
Good morning again. So, think bike. Nice and simple, and I think Janine has just very eloquently explained what the thinking behind this is. Your end goal is customer retention, and because those customers can keep coming back, and they will be more profitable than potentially new customers. So you want customer retention. Those guys who keep coming back for their service underpin your business. So, nice little acronym that you should remember. Okay. Maintenance reminder system. Janine highlighted that this is a very important part of the engagement with the customer. Now, we're going to go through some of the details on this in a moment, and I want to just emphasize, guys, this is a workshop. I do not want you to be silent. I don't want you sitting there just listening to me. Okay? We want to engage. We want you working on this. We want feedback. So don't be frightened to shout and make a noise. You might be thinking, who's this guy, Ian, standing at the front? I come from the automotive industry. I have 40 years experience in the automotive industry. I've been a technician. I've been an apprentice technician. I used to sweep the floors of the workshop. I became a master technician, and then I became an after-sales manager. I've done service reception work, I've done warranty work, all those lovely things that you have to do. I've got a lot of experience of that, and what I'm going to try and do in the next few presentations is share that experience so you can try and apply that in your environments. The service department is the long lost relative that doesn't really get appreciated very often. And I've lived in that environment for a very long time. And you can find people in that environment who become a little bit negative, a little bit tired of being beaten up by the customer. They become defensive. Now all those attributes of that, we need to overcome. We need to re-energize ourselves, and we do that through association with a brand like Harley Davidson. What a brand, guys. That's a fantastic brand. It's got wonderful images, it's got wonderful associations, the product, the history. You can be proud of that brand, honestly. And you are the custodians of that brand. You're the guys and ladies and gentlemen that actually face that brand to the customer. So, okay, there's a manufacturer sitting in America and Thailand, he makes the product, but you are the guys and girls who look after those customers' experiences. So let's go and have a look at the maintenance reminder system and understand a little bit more about what that's all about. So I understand that not everybody will be in a position in their business to fully support the MRS, the maintenance reminder system. So, but we can understand in this instance why it's important, and then later on we're going to try and help you see some ways to do that particular function in your business. So what is MRS? What is Maintenance Reminder System? It's a channel to communicate the value of the Harley-Davidson service. But what happens if you don't do MRS? Let's just have a quick look at that. If you don't do MRS, Maintenance Reminder System, what's happening? Your customers will potentially not be communicated with by you. They'll communicate to you. You start to lose control of that relationship a little bit. But the objective of the MRS is to safeguard the customer's interests and safety. You're doing them a favour, you're doing them a service. You're doing something that will connect and add value to their experience with the brand, experience with the product. You want to use, this is part of the way that you are going to cultivate your customers for life. MRS is the introduction. You're showing you care for the customer, you're showing you care about the customer's bike, and this is part of building a long-term trust relationship. You know very well, if you've got a customer that you trust, a customer that trusts you, you are going to have a much easier life with that customer than if they're suspicious of everything you do. If you talk to that customer and contact them regularly, keep your promises, that trust builds, and then when something goes wrong on their bike and they're in the bike's in the workshop, you phone them up, sir, this has gone wrong on the bike, and they just simply just go ahead. If you've not got that trust, it's a much different conversation, isn't it? So MRS is part of building that trust, and all those good things on the slide. You know, you're going to retain them. You're going to actually can use this to regain lost customers as well. It's a reason to contact customers, and it's so valuable to your business that I can't under-emphasize this. But what are the desired outcomes? Okay, you've got you're going to contact all customers, hopefully. No oversights. Don't drop the ball. Apply a good process to this. You must, to maintain the trust, you must use accurate information when you're talking to customers. If you're phoning somebody up or contacting them with something that isn't correct, or they're out of date, or they're he was in last week and you didn't notice, now you phoned him to invite him for service, it's not going to help. So you need to be accurate. And then another desired outcome, you need the right time. You need to be contacting them at the right time. And we've got a tool which we can show you tomorrow, which will help you with that type of scenario. whether you use it or whether you use your DMS or your own internal systems, that is entirely your choice. But accuracy and timeliness with MRS communications is important. And then finally, MRS is a key conduit to deliver our Harley-Davidson service message to the customer. It really is that conduit. Can't underestimate how powerful MRS is. What are the components of it? How do we deliver MRS? What's MRS all about? Well, you've got various components in here. You've got the man, the machine, the material and the method. Lots of M's in there, you must remember. So the man, what are we talking about? You need somebody to do it, don't you? MRS is a case of contacting customers and inviting them to come to you for service. It needs to be timely and accurate, all those things. But who needs to do it? You need somebody who's going to do that. You're the service managers. You're the guys running the workshops. You need to be thinking about how we're going to do that. Now, we're in Asia, and I know that sometimes I see elements of the manpower in the service departments, which is, you might have a service admin person, you might have two, I don't know, you might have a parts admin person. There is manpower in many of the businesses in this room which can be used to do this particular function. And if you haven't got somebody, I'm sure that you've got a service advisor or service consultant. Think about their time. Can they be used to do this? There's lots of thoughts going on, okay? Then we've got the machine. What do we need to be able to do this? We need a DMS, ideally. We need a way to generate a call list. How do you know who you got to call? Your DMS, if you've got one, will help you do that, but we'll see how we can do that later on. Then we've got you've got to be able to log those calls. You've got to be able to track those calls. You don't want to keep repeating, phoning somebody up, or have two people doing this and they cross over and they both contact the same customer. You need to control it a little bit. Then you need a system to check the service history. Usually the DMS will help you do that, won't it? So before you do the MRS calls and contacts, there's some things you need to do, and we'll go into that in a moment. Materials, well, you need that customer database, so valuable. If you've not got your customer database under control, you're going to struggle, aren't you? So don't underestimate the value of that, and also protect it. You've got customer information, and there are regulations and rules in the world in various different markets which mean you have to protect that customer information. So don't allow just everybody access your customer database. Think about protecting your customer database. It is yours and it is precious. Materials, we need to generate a call list. That's going to come from the DMS, hopefully, or we'll give you something that might help you with that later. And then we've got to be able to document the call logs. Somehow you've got to record it. And then action plans for improvement. Always have that mindset. This is what are we going to do if this isn't working? How do we improve it? And I challenge you all to try and keep that. I know it's difficult because you're in a busy environment very often, and this guy standing up here asking me to do action plans for improvement. I can't even manage to breathe during the day. I haven't got time to go to the bathroom. I know it's like, and then somebody saying to you, "Oh, you need an action plan for this, that, and the other." You can't even think about it. You have to make some time for it. This is so fundamentally important to your business and your profitability and your long-term survival. And it is survival because we are in an environment which means there's a lot of competition, and you need to be the best. You've got the right tools. You've got, when I say the tools, the background. You've got the brand. You've got the bikes. You've got the image. You've got all those things which support you, but you've got to keep doing it, and you need to be able to keep it up. If we don't do improvement plans, then we're going to fall off the top of the pyramid. You're going to be sliding down, and other people will be taking your place at the top, as it were. Then we've got the methods. How do we do it? What are we going to do? What sort of contact are we going to make? How are we going to contact people? Are we going to phone them? Are we going to message them? What are we going to do? Then we've got the timeline. When are we going to do it? These are all things to think about. We're going to go through it. So, the contact medium. You've either got direct mails, emails, calls, or texts. If you're doing the MRS, guys, put your hands up for me now. Who prefers to use direct mails? Anybody? Anybody sending letters? Nobody sends a letter, do they? Come on. Perhaps you should do. I like letters. When I was a service manager back in the UK, first started doing that job role in 1996. God, that's a long time ago, isn't it? My DMS used to spit out a load of letters, and I would sign every one of those letters, and then I'd give them back to the administration department, and they'd send them out to the customer. That's 1996. That was with a brand. I was doing that with a Volvo brand, and then I did it again with a Mitsubishi brand when I ran that. And that experience was, I didn't understand why. I didn't know what I was doing. I just got this pile of letters and I had to sign them. That's what I was told. I was the new service manager, and it was like, sign these, boss, you know. Am I the boss? I don't know. So you sign them, great, okay, send them out. But customers, it brought customers back, and it reminded customers. Do you know what it's like to feel like when you get a nice letter? You know, it is, oh, hang on a minute, these people remember me. Let's, I feel guilty if I don't respond. So, direct mails. Okay, now, how about emails? The evolution of mail went to email. Does anybody send emails to remind customers to come in? Wait, India does it. Fantastic. Nice. And you've got a pro forma, I imagine. You just make sure that it's pretty straightforward to do, and you just simply pick up the email and send it. And, yeah, okay, now you're not signing with a pen, you're signing with electrical things, aren't you? Okay. Tell you what, the next one, calls. What's that all about? Okay, we phone them up. Scary, isn't it? Okay, us phoning the customer. Ooh. But the customer love it. You know, you're building that relationship, and providing you've already met the customer once or twice, you've got something you can leverage now. You can actually start to, how's your dog doing? You remember last time you came in, you told me about your dog. You know, you can add those things in, build those relationships. Calls are really important. And the other one, which I bet you everybody in this room defaults to, and that's texts or WhatsApp messages. We're all frightened of talking to people. You wouldn't be in the service department if you didn't really like talking to people, would you? I mean, many of you would have been mechanics, yeah? And you've now elevated to a service position where you're taking care of customers. You didn't actually do that mechanic thing because you like talking to people, did you? See? I mean, when I was a mechanic, I did that because I didn't have to talk to people. I just had a machine I could repair. That was nice. It didn't talk back to me, and I could fix it, and it didn't argue with me. I could have a proper, nice peaceful time. And then you become a service manager, and you get all these people talking to you, and you think, my gosh, what did I do? I had a nice time in the workshop. I look back at this, the best job I ever had was running the workshop. Not running the reception and the thing, but that's the job I really enjoyed. But you grow into it, don't you? You get used to it, and then you start to enjoy it after a while. Well, embrace it, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to embrace talking to customers. Really important. And you will find that some of those customers become really good friends. And it's nice when that happens. I've had it happen. In fact, I've got one friend who was still in contact with me 30 years later. And that particular friend wanted to leave me her Volvo in her will, which sadly, she recently passed away, but she phoned me up to tell me she was dying. But that's a customer that I'd connected with 30 years ago. So those relationships can be really deep, and you know, don't ignore them. Now let's have a quick look. What's the purpose? So direct mails. We would use direct mails as an initial contact. That would reach customers. Snail mail, they call it. Customers that don't have emails. Honestly, I don't know about you, but my mailbox is at the front of the house, and I might look in the mailbox once every week. I don't look at it daily. So the mail does take time to get there, but there's a physical touch and feel. It's quite nice, isn't it? You know, you've got maybe an embossed paper, you've got the brand on the paper, this sort of thing. It's nice to touch. In that, there is a higher visibility, so you're making a statement, and there's also less risk of it going to spam mail. It doesn't end up in the junk mailbox, does it? Well, maybe it does, but it's a physical one rather than an electronic one. Emails. When do we use emails? Okay, initial contact. We can use it for the same thing, so you can use it for the initial contact as well. Lower cost of distribution. There's no stamp on that. You haven't got to take it to the post box. Longer period of retention. It sits in people's inbox for years. I've got 20,000 emails in my inbox at the minute. Maybe I'll look at them one day. There's a risk of being sent to spam. So yeah, okay. We don't necessarily always get those emails noticed. What else can we do? Talked about it a moment ago. Calls, personal touch. You get immediate response if you can get hold of the person, and then you get an opportunity to chat, to gather other feedback. That's useful. And I know it's scary, but it's useful. Text, much more comfortable with text, aren't we? So let's send the text, and then we haven't got to worry about it because the customer can read it. But how much of the communication gets lost in the text? There's a lot of communication in the vocal, isn't there? We're all aware of that. But it's less intrusive. It suits the modern customer. He gets a text. Oh yeah, he's in a meeting. He hasn't got to worry about answering the phone. He looks at the text. Oh yeah, got to send my bike to repair or service. And it's, I think, in this day and age, quite a high visibility. It's directly to their mobile, which is a very personal item, isn't it? We all love our mobiles. They're no longer phones, are they? It's more like a computer in your pocket. It's not it does have a phone function, but okay. So which is the best communication channel? We talked about all of those. I don't know which one's the best. It depends. It really depends, doesn't it? It's an integrated approach. It depends on the customer, it depends on the time, it depends on what their preferred method of communication might be. So how do we do this? Oh my, all these different ways of doing it. What should we do? Okay. When are we going to use them? So direct mails and emails. Reminder for service due, we might do that at D, you might see the terminology D-30. What do we mean by D-30? Let me know. Who can tell me, what does that mean, D-30? Yeah? 30 days before the appointment, yeah? Guys, I've got some Chupa Chumps over here. If, lollipops, if I get better reactions, I'll start handing them out. Okay. And then, okay, we've got D-30, so we use a direct mail or an email perhaps, then we've got the first contact, and then we could do it again actually. We've got a D-20, we could send a follow-up reminder. These are nice traditional, this is a good thing to do. We can also do a call at D-30. That's if they've got no direct mail or email. Or you could do the call at D-14. It's a process. We're going through D-30, D-20, D-14. You can also do the follow-up calls, confirm the appointment. So we're doing calls give you so much more flexibility, and it's a personal touch to that customer. You can set up the D-30. You can do the set up the appointment. You can confirm the appointment, and then you can do the confirm any requests. You can follow if they've asked you for something, then you can phone them back. You get this ping pong thing going on. Then we've got texts, and we can use them for the appointment reminder, and then confirm the appointments. But we don't tend to recommend using the text until we get to the D-7 and D-1. Try and get some personal contact going in at the start of the process. And what are we saying here? Multiple touch points is important to build familiarity and trust. That's a really important word, trust. You're building trust with this customer. And it's important to strike a balance though. You don't want to overwhelm them with all this communication. It needs to be sensible. Difficult balance sometimes, but it's possible. Most you guys are customers as well. You know what it feels like if somebody's pestering you to death. So think about what would work for your customers. How are they going to feel about it? What works in that environment? And don't be frightened of the calls. We can talk to customers. They don't all bite. Some of them do, not all of them. And then we've got, what are we doing there? You can have too little contact, can't you? Remember to also consider the customer's preference. What did you do last time that they liked? Have they made a comment to you? Look in your DMS, have you made any comments in there that they don't like particular methods? So let's have a look at the ideal process. This is the offline, so customers that are not really digitally connected. And we're heading towards D-Day. So we want to go in there and we want to talk to the customer. We want to set things up so we get them to come in on the appointment date. Now, let's see where we start. Okay, first contact, initial awareness. If we have an offline customer, we can use mail, snail mail, put a stamp on the letter, send him something nice he can open. Then we can do a email, if they have got some email connection. Initial awareness, a D-20. So we're still the same message, but it's a reminder. This is it. This is something when you haven't had that opportunity to create a booking yet, to create an appointment. Then D-14. By now you should have had a call. Fix the appointment. Talk to the customer. Confirm what they want. And the reason to call them is because of the service schedule. We all know how important servicing. We, above everybody, know how servicing is important. You get customers who, I haven't done the mileage. Yeah, okay, we know you haven't done the mileage, but it's important to have some professional eyes look at your machine for your safety, Mr. Customer. So let's have you can really promote that type of thing through that call. You can't do it so easily through a text or email. Then we go to D-7. This is really important, D-7. Appointment reminder. So the customer set the date on D-14 with you on that phone call. You've got it in your diary. And now D-7, you remind him. How many customers do you find don't turn up? They set the appointment and then they forget. Something happens, and they just don't bother turning up, or they've forgotten completely. My memory's getting worse as I get older. So most of your customers, I think, are more mature rather than younger. So give them an opportunity, remind them. Then D-1. Okay, usually a phone call works very well. In many of the markets here, I know we'll share in a minute. We'll go to a different sort of format slightly. We'll go to text maybe, but a call really works. It's nice to know somebody's phoning you up. They become your friend. Now this is for an online situation. We can start again with the initial awareness as a physical letter. Then we've got the D-20 email type thing, then we can go into, okay, customer booking online. How many of you got an online booking system? Hands up, come on, own up to it. Does anybody have an online booking system? It's unusual in this industry at the minute, in the motorcycle industry. Many of the car manufacturers have online booking systems. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. If you're going to go down the route of an online booking system, and I recommend it to give us an option, it's nice. There are new customers, or the younger customers, really comfortable with this sort of thing. But an online booking system must work. If it doesn't work, stop it. Right? If it doesn't work, just don't do it. 'Cause the damage that sort of thing can do for you, it's your image. If you have an online booking, it must work, okay? And that means your wives or husbands or whoever you know should be able to go on the system without you telling them how to do it, and then find a way to make a booking. So if you've got something going to this, test it out, right? Then we've got the customer book online. If that's happening, you can do a confirmed appointment via a text or a phone call. Same or next day. So let's pretend you've all got a booking system online. Customer sends in their request for booking, they've set a date and all the rest of it in that system. You must respond the next day with either a text to confirm the booking or a phone call. Alright? So that would be the next step. So next year, I hope you guys are thinking about this type of thing if you're not already doing so. Then D7, appointment reminder, can be a WhatsApp, text message, that type of thing. And then we've got final D-1. Always try and make that a phone call. Really nice. You're starting to.
Customer online booking, I believe the Room 58, right? Our website provider, they can actually turn it on.
Can
for they can turn it on for the dealer.
That's nice. Does it work? Do you know if it works?
Then somebody need to follow up.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Carl. Carl's just told me that Room 58.
Room 58.
Room 58. Sorry. Room 58 has that feature which can be turned on for you. Have a think about it.
Is that just the form or it's the actual schedule where you can
Schedule.
Right. So you actually need to link it to your DMS.
So, needs to link to your DMS.
I'm not sure
Maybe.
if you need to link to the DMS, but I believe they will send you the email about it.
Okay. Cool. So, there's way more stuff out there than we realise. Room 58. Okay, guys, investigate it. I know there's a lot on the plate and all the rest of it, and maybe you do an investigation into this next month or in January, but look at it. If your customers are going that direction, whether you like it or not. So, minimum requirement. What's the minimum we can get away with? I don't get like. I don't want to do too much. I've got so much else to do. Okay? Minimum. Okay. Make a quick phone call. D-30 days before. What can you do? You make a quick phone call. Mr. Customer, your bike's ready for service, or Mrs. Customer, or Miss Customer. You need to bring your bike in for service. We're looking forward to seeing the bike. When do you want to do it? We've got a space, and before you do that call, there's some things you need to do, and we'll go through that in a bit. Then you've got the appointment reminder, D-7. So this is minimum, right? First contact, set the booking. D-7, send them a quick reminder. That can be on WhatsApp or text. And then another phone call day before, just to remind them. You'd be surprised how effective this can be. Minimum requirement, if we're just going to use text, and I know how you love text. Send a reminder, ask them to fix the appointment. It's more comfortable than a call perhaps. After you fix the appointment, maybe they say they responded. then you can fix an appointment and it's all okay. If they haven't responded, then now it's time to make a call. They've seen the text. Do you know what? I've got a Nissan in Singapore, and my Nissan dealer likes to send me a text. Do you want to book your car in? And I look at it. Yeah, I do actually. And then I get busy and I do. I'm thinking, oh no, they're really difficult to phone up. Whenever I phone them up, it takes me 2 days to actually get through to them. It's hard, and I think, oh, so. But they never follow up anymore. They send me one text, and then I feel guilty for the next month, thinking I've got to book the car in, and then I'll find time to do it, and then it'll be eventually I'll get there. But the initial thing, if they followed up on it and made a quick call, how nice that would be. That would be a relief. That's how I feel about it anyway. Then minimum requirement, if you're just going to use text, give them the appointment reminder at D-7. And then the final appointment confirmation at D-1. And with luck and a fair wind, they will all turn up the next day. Okay, what about the exceptions? Well, there's always exceptions, isn't there? So the first one, the customer rejects the appointment. That's uncomfortable. That's why we like to do text, isn't it? We don't like that conversation. So what are you going to do? You need to find out why. Knowledge is power in a lot of cases, isn't it? If you know why that customer didn't want to come in, that can help you understand, help you change things. Maybe you need to do something different. Then you can record the response on a call log, offer advice on maintenance. Why they rejected it? So it's really important to get your bike in, maintain your investment in your machine. Get it serviced. It helps preserve and protect the bike. Make sure it doesn't embarrass you or break down. This is important for their safety, maybe. Then you can, if the customer rejects the appointment, find out why, all the rest of it, and create a plan for the next service reminder call. Even if they've rejected you this time, you've explained to them what, the reasons to come in for service, and say, it's not ready, I haven't used it for 6 months, and you've said, yeah, but when you come to use it, let's, if it's serviced and ready to use, it'll be much easier for you. And they still reject you. Don't abandon that. Put that in your system and call them back in 3 months' time. Don't let the customer drop off and disappear. Suggested workflow for exceptions, additional repair or customization requests. What are we talking about there? All right, okay, so determine if a diagnosis is needed. So the customer's talking to you about additional repairs now. He's not just in for a service. Let's have a think about what we're going to do. Do we need, what's the job look like now? Are those repairs covered by warranty? You never know. You can then check parts stock and status. So you don't necessarily set the appointment at this point. You've had the conversation with the customer, they've come back, I need this repaired. It's a bit more complicated. Step back, go and get your information. Go and understand. Is this a warranty repair? Is there something you can do for the customer? It's now become a little bit of an investigation before you can go forwards and make the appointment. If the parts have to be ordered, you can maybe book in a tentative appointment date. Explain that date might be subject to change. It depends on the parts order. And then you've got to make sure you follow up with customers closer to the date, and also make sure that you have or haven't got the parts so you know what you're doing. This is keeping your promises. This is building your trust. Then best practice, regularly update customers on parts order status if you have to order parts.
This is the hard one.
Yeah.
This is a hard one because the situation here, and back order is just keep pushing and pushing. Some customers don't like it at all.
Right.
Yeah.
You're getting tough conversations with customers because of the part situation. This happens, and I haven't got a magic wand, neither of you guys, neither has Harley, unfortunately. These are things we have to deal with. What was it? Example, something I was dealing with and working with last year, Porsche. Their delivery time for new cars, so how long people were waiting for their new car? Over a year. More than a year. You go in with all your money in your pocket, you go in and you, oh, I like that, I'll have one of them, and then a year later you still haven't got the car. Do you know how many people are cancelling the cars? It's just, and so it's not a unique thing for you to have a parts issue. It's something we have to learn to deal with. We have to try and manage customer expectations. I wish I could fix it. I really do, and you do as well. Cause
I wish Harley had that kind of situation, customer waiting for a bike.
yeah. Yeah, actually it's reversed this year for Porsche. They now have to push their vehicle sales. It's not going quite so well. There's like a lot of manufacturers, the sales is starting to tail off, and it's an economic thing that is cyclical. But tell you what remains and what is the backbone of the business. You guys, we are going to be here servicing bikes, machines, and whatever because they still exist, and somebody will want to get them done, and you will support the industry, and you'll be the reason dealers will survive. Don't underestimate that. It's when the sales pick up, oh, glorious sales, aren't they wonderful, and the rest of it, and they shine, and everybody loves the sales department. But when it's down, they're miserable, aren't they? It's fun to see sometimes, but yeah, not fun really. But, okay, that's a good point, Carl. We don't ignore the past supply problems.
But one thing here, we to keep the customer happy. all
Yeah.
the time, yeah.
Precisely, and you've got exactly the right approach. If you are open and set expectations and keep communicating, actually, you can turn a bad experience into a relationship building experience. So, this guy's waiting for something, and it takes months and months and months to get. If he's getting regular contact from you, yeah, it might be an uncomfortable phone call, I'm sorry, type thing. You can actually still build a relationship with that customer, try and bring a little bit of light-heartedness in. Maybe send him a voucher for a coffee to come in and see the rest of the range. I don't know. Use those contacts as some, keep them regular and use them to try and lift the customer. Remember, it's a brand experience. And okay, the brand can't maybe keep its agreement to supply the part at that moment, and you deal with it. Make sure the customer understands why. That's all you can do. The experience I had with Bentley, Flying Spur couldn't get the driver's side door skin. I was working with Bentley at the time in the region. I had half a dozen cars stuck in body shops where they needed a new door repair. Couldn't get the door skins. Door skins took 2 years to get. I had customers these are Bentley owners. I know they've got multiple cars, but they get a little bit upset. As I would, as you would. We understand it, but I wish we had fixes for all these things. Inbound appointment requests, greet the customer. Okay, so this customer is, instead of you contacting him, he's contacted you. This is nice. We like customers contacting us. Better if we can contact them because we can control it. But inbound appointment requests, you greet the customer, introduce yourself. You know how many often I phone up somewhere and they answer the phone and they go, hello? And I just thought I'd phone the Nissan dealer or some other place. You don't know who you phoned. When you answer the phone, always introduce yourself, name and department, check the customer service history, review previous work done. Basically, you should have your DMS on hand. If you're taking a call, you can bring them up on screen. Any outstanding, this is important, and I bet not everybody does this, but check for any outstanding recalls to product campaigns. You should be checking these every time a bike comes in. it's important because it's a way of demonstrating that you care for that customer and that bike. And if it's not part of your process now, please make it part of your process. Check your parts stock. Hopefully you've got the parts. Fingers crossed. If you haven't, go back to the parts must be ordered. Keep an angle on that. And then you get to your booking an appointment. So there's going to be exceptions. It's not a perfect world. You're going to get customers wanting to do different types of things. It's not every customer you phone up is going to be straightforward. Oh yeah, I'll book him for service in 30 days. There's going to be complications, but use your experience and your knowledge, and get your people who are doing the calls and managing this system. You've got to think about training them. So skill set required. What do we need to be able to do all this lovely things? Let me just see where I am in, because I'm looking at time, guys. We've got tea break. I think everybody's ready for a tea break, aren't they? Okay. 3 more slides? Okay, thank you. Okay. What do you need? What are the skill sets? What do you have to put in place? You've got somebody who's doing this and managing this system, they've got to understand the maintenance schedules. They need to be able to, see your bike, or what mileage is it at? How many of your customers come in exactly on the mileage? Very few, isn't it? And I mean, my Nissan, it's not very fuel economic, so I never use it as much. I use public transport as well, and I never meet the mileage. The time always comes up first, so my maintenance schedule gets a little bit, I don't know what they're doing anymore, or what it requires. I just know that they've asked, it needs to go in for an oil change. What else they do, no idea. Then you need to be able somebody to handle your customer database. You need somebody who's got skills in workshop planning, understands what sort of size of work this is going to be. Have you got the skill sets on that day that they're planning, that you're suggesting? Have you got the right people? Can you deliver what you're going to, what they're booking in for? You've got to be able to do a price estimation. There's a lot of skills here, isn't there? It's a lot of this matches with an experienced service advisor, maybe. Or an experienced service manager. Looking at you guys. Okay. You've got appointment loading. You've got to be able to load it into the workshop, so you don't want 10 bikes. You don't want 10 bikes in your workshop on a particular day, all with really complicated problems, and you've only got one master tech. You're shooting yourself in the foot. You're going to get a lot of pain. Communication. Somebody needs to be able to, professionally communicate with your customers. Visual control management. You need the tools, and we're going to talk about those later. So, how do you manage this workflow through the business? And then you need background information, repair order and service notes taking. These are things that should be inherently built into your business. So you've got a really good picture of your customer. So last time you came in, there was these items and you only repaired some of them and there's some left over. You need to know that, and you need to be able to find it, because this is money. It's value. So I want you to look at this and think about, okay, what do I need to do as a service manager to make MRS happen? And these are some of the skill sets you need to think about. What does it mean for you as a service manager? It means I've got to think about how I'm going to deliver this. What training do these guys need? Or, do I need to coach somebody? Can I sit next to them? Do I invest that time to get this up and running? That's worth doing. You get the right people involved and you can sit and coach, and that helps. Suggested process capability. How do you measure it? Okay, how do you measure if this is working? This is nice. Whenever you start something, think about how you're going to measure it if it's successful. Like I said to Samuel, I think it was, how are we going to know if this is a good one in terms of conference? How are we going to measure it? Well, the end of the conference, you'll be asked to submit some. Where'd it go? You're going to be asked to submit a survey form, and hopefully you're going to say, yeah, Ian was great. It's okay. So measuring something is really important. Contact rate, total number of customers successfully contacted, total number of customers on the call list. So the contact rate target should be 90%, and that's going to give you an indication of how good your data is as well, isn't it? It's not just, it's the whole thing. So if your data's rubbish, you're not going to get 90%, are you? Appointment booking success rate. How many of those customers booked in? You can use a target 80%, and you can make an attempt to book in appointments even for low mileage customers, all this sort of stuff. But some customers won't do it. You need the right persuasion skills, maybe. And then the appointment ratio, total number of appointments over the total number of service traffic. So how much of your service traffic in the workshop was by appointment? So many businesses don't use appointments in the automotive industry. They are reactive. There are workshops in Harley Davidson world who don't do MRS. They're reactive to customers coming in. They have limited control over what goes on in that sense. They don't know if they've got the parts. They haven't got the chance to get organised for it. Have they got the skill sets? It's a little bit a game of chance. Now I know many of your customers aren't so bothered about leaving the bike there for a long time, but you should be really bothered by that. You should be trying to get that turned around and out of your workshop. If you've got it out of the way, you've got space to do another one. Space is money. Yep.
It is really good, right? But do we require the DMS to actually help us to run all this?
You
Or
can-
we do it manually?
You can do this manually, but you basically going to end up having somebody record this. Maybe you set up an Excel sheet, maybe it's just a daily record, and you do it at the end of the day maybe. How many customers turned up today? 3 of those, 2 were pre-booked, 1 was a walk-in, this type of thing. You can actually start recording. The contact rate, how many of the customers, you can do that. If you're doing MRS and you're contacting people, that's easy to record, how many were successful. So you don't have to use a DMS. If you've got a DMS that helps you do this, wow, brilliant. Give me a high five, it's a nice
For
thing.
my case, I have no problem to run that customer not coming for the service for the past 6 months in the DMS. I
Yeah.
can run that report.
You can see that, yeah.
I can see that. But my DMS are impossible to actually help me, like for example, like appointment books, rate and all this kind of stuff.
Right, you don't record it. Okay, well, later on I'm going to show you a tool called the CST Customer Scheduling Tool. That will give you the opportunity to start recording stuff like that. Cool. I've had a lot of sleepless nights with this tool. It's now working, and it's a clever Excel-based tool, and we'll show it to you and play with it. It'll give you the opportunity to record stuff, and you'll be able to filter that data to drive out the matrix that you're looking at there. It's not perfect, but we are where we are.
Yep.
If you had a DMS which did all that stuff, singing, dancing, and there are DMSs out there, but they cost money. I know some of you are in a business which doesn't want to spend at the moment on maybe a new system, and honestly, putting in a new DMS is like taking your own teeth out with a pair of pliers. It bloody hurts.
No, DMS is good, but thing is, for all the investors, right?
Yeah.
They wanted to get what's the return for the money I
Yeah,
invest on them.
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
Like nothing perfect. We need to start somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah. This is what.
I agree with you.
Do you have a group DMS?
If you want to,
Do you have a group DMS?
Yes.
Yeah, across the group.
yeah. So you'll be restricted by what you can do as well. You won't be able to, and there may be elements of that DMS which you could turn on, but there's going to be a fee to that. Very often, business will have, or a business will have a DMS in place, and they've gone for the light version. And to get the rest of it, you've got to pay an extra fee. So there may be stuff that you don't know about yet that's available, and you could end up, asking for it. I don't know. You've got a big group there. They might.
Yeah, we have a dedicated group actually just in charge for that DMS system.
Yeah.
A couple of them.
Talk to them. They may be able to give you some of the opportunities to record stuff like this. But it's important to measure it. If you measure it, you make it. It becomes important. And then but don't just measure it and ignore it. Measure it and then review it, and review it with your team, so everybody knows what's going on. And hopefully, all of you as service managers are running a team meeting once a month where you can review stuff like this, engage. And do you know why those team meetings are important? Those, for you as service managers, that's a record of your management of the business. Whether it's good or bad, what's reviewed, doesn't matter. It shows and demonstrates that you are a responsible manager. You're standing in front of your team and you're measuring this. So if anybody ever challenges you on your management, you can go, what do you mean? Oh, look at this. I do, I'm a responsible manager, this is what I do. It's a good thing to do. Resources and tools. Well, so far for the MRS system, you've been looking at how to do it and what's required. What have we got in place that's going to help you with this type of thing? Well, you've got the 7-step process. That came out last year, I believe, and it tells you about what's expected in there as well. You've got the service standards. Now, Janine talked about these a little while earlier on. We're going to show you the standards. The standards, basically, standards line up with the 7-step process. So the standards are, there's a set of standards for each of the processes, and those standards will tell you what good looks like. So think of the standards as supporting the 7-step process and helping you interpret that step. What does good look like? Then you've got an MRS script playbook. We've even told you how to talk to customers. This is cool. I like that. I haven't actually read the detail on that, but I think that's a useful addition to the equipment that you've got. And then this wonderful Excel-based thing that I talked about just now, the customer scheduling tool. This will help you do MRS if you haven't got a system. It will contain your customer data, and we'll show you how to use it. There'll be a playbook and a detailed how to do written. It is a little bit complicated in some places, but I think if you get somebody in your admin department doing it, they'll quickly get onto it, and you'll be able to drive out those details you need for the KPIs and things like that, and measure things. It will be a powerful addition. Yes, break time. Who wants a cup of coffee? Thank you, everybody. Okay, we'll take a 15-minute break, much needed break to go outside and get fresh air for those who want it, and don't fall in the pool, and get warm again. It's pretty cold in here, isn't it? See you in 15.